It's about the type of marketing that is often, there's some faux pas around it, some weird juju around it, because not everyone understands it, not everyone gets it, not everyone loves it, but it is such a great way to get leads for free, for cheap, reliably, predictably, all of that stuff. All you have to do is trade a little bit of comfort for it. And that, my friends, is door-to-door marketing.
Welcome to the Painter Growth Podcast, where we help you scale your painting company in record time. Join us as we explore sales, marketing, hiring, finances, leadership, and more, everything that you need to know to scale and grow your painting business. I hope you enjoy and subscribe.
What's up, everyone? Mike Hickman here, founder of paintergrowth.com, and you're listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about way to get leads, way to get jobs. Everyone wants more jobs. I mean, most people want more jobs. You want more jobs unless you want to be stagnant and not grow your business and not make more money. Don't take on more than you can handle. Never, only book yourself out 2 weeks, only do enough. No, let's think big. Let's get lots of jobs. Let's stack them. Let's book them out, book them 6 weeks out, add more crews, add more painters, bring on production manager, hire sales rep. Let's push the boundary on how much we can book, the expectations that we can set with the homeowners, and how much money we can make. Because if you're still on the tools, did you know it only takes the production of 2 painters to completely replace your salary and your take-home income? So if you have 2 painters working for you full time, you will make more money yourself, take home, than you would if you were painting full time. Let that sink in a little bit. 2 painters replaces your salary and then some. So you're making more money, plus you had all your time back. But that is not what today's episode is all about, because today's episode is about a type of marketing. I mean, you probably saw it in the headline, everything. It's about the type of marketing that is often, there's some faux pas around it, some weird juju around it, because not everyone understands it, not everyone gets it, not everyone loves it, but it is such a great way to get leads for free, for cheap, reliably, predictably, all of that stuff. All you have to do is trade a little bit of comfort for it. And that, my friends, is door-to-door marketing. And before I get any further into this, we have just released a killer door-to-door mini course with videos, with templates, with comp models, with all of that stuff. And it can be yours absolutely free. So it's in the description of this podcast, wherever you're listening. Just go check out the podcast, click on the mini course, and you can go get our door-to-door mini course absolutely free. And I'll mention it one more time at the end in case you forget and you don't want to quite do it yet. You want to make sure that, there's some juice in this. There's some juice to squeeze, but we put a lot of value in it. We put a lot of our paid stuff into that mini course. So I know you're going to love it. Anyway, not quite sold on door-to-door. Well, let me sell you on it. How about? Cool. So some reasons why it's really good. I mean, number one, if you need free leads and you need cheap leads and you need quick leads and you need proprietary leads and you need leads that aren't being sold to you for hundreds of dollars from lead services, and you want to book jobs really soon and from really great customers, you need to do door-to-door marketing. I mean, what do you trade? You trade a little bit of dignity to get tons of leads. I mean, I'm gonna run the numbers for you real quick. So I hope you're ready for a little bit of math. So on average, the owner of a company, marketer, someone equivalent, will get about 1 estimate booked per hour. So the area depends, what neighborhood you're in, how you're scripting, what time of day, but going between 4 and 7, 4:30 and 7:30 p.m. Monday to Friday, Monday to Thursday, you'll get about 1 estimate per hour. So if your average job size is, let's just go small here. Let's say $3,000. So if your average job size is $3,000 and you get 1 lead per hour and your close rate on your estimates is 33%, so you close 1 out of 3, that means every hour you are door knocking, you're earning your company $1,000 in production, or if your gross margin 50% after paint and labor, you're making $500 per hour marketing in terms of like profit. Now, there's not a lot I wouldn't do for $500 an hour. I mean, let's be real. It's a lot of money, right? You add that up. If you go 500 times 40 hours a week times, 52 weeks a year, you're at $1 million. So that's a pretty good take home. Now, if your average job, let's just play with the numbers a little bit. So if your average job size is double that, 6,000, and you're at a 50% close rate, that means your value per estimate is $3,000 in sales or $1,500 in gross margin. So if you did that 3 hours a day, you got 3 estimates a day, 4 days a week, 50, let's say 48 weeks a year. You're booking 864,000. You got to believe me, I got my calculator pulled up. 6K times 0.5, which is times 0.5 times 0.5 times 3 times 4 times 48. Anyway, 864,000 a year just by going 3 hours a day for 4 days a week and getting 1 estimate per hour. Super reasonable. And now, what if you had someone doing that for you and getting you, 12 estimates a week? Now, what if you had 2 people doing that and getting you 24 estimates per week? Now we're at like $1.72 million just from your door-to-door marketers. Now tell me that you don't want to do this, right? There's going to be excuses. You're going to have reasons why this isn't going to work or you don't want to do it. But like for your business, you want to do 300K this year, you want to do 500K this year, or God forbid, you want to do $1 million and you have your door-to-door responsible for half of that. So door-to-door responsible for like 150K or 300K or 500K. Just do the math of what's possible and what's needed to actually achieve that. So if you want to do $500,000, actually, no, let's even make it easier than that. Let's make it realistic for you guys. Let's go 250K. You want to do 250,000 from door to door. Like, hey, if I'm going to do this thing, it's got to be worth it. So let's do $250,000 in sales. Some of you guys are like, hey, that's more than I did in like my last 2 years put together. It's fine. Let's do $250,000 in door to door because it's totally possible. Now let's divide that by 48 weeks. Okay. 48 weeks, giving 4 weeks for slush and weather and things like that. So you're doing it for 48 weeks. That's $5,200 a week. So for 5,200 is all we need to book. And so if our average job size is $3,000, that's 1.73 jobs per week. And so if we have that 1.73 and our close rate is 0.33, we're going to times that number by 3. And the number that I get to is 5.2. So in order to book $250,000 of sales, we need to get about 5 estimates per week from our door-to-door efforts, which with our 1 estimate per hour calculation is only 5 hours per week of door-to-door. So you just need to get one person to go 2 short shifts a week, Monday and Tuesday, 2.5 hours a day. And as long as they're getting between 2 and 3 estimates a night, you're going to be able to book $250,000 a year. All right. So you're going to figure out, of course, your own numbers. And this is on a $3,000 average job size. That's very small. That's probably a lot smaller than your actual average job size. So you have the potential to do way more than that. Now, I hope by now you're like, okay, this is a little bit interesting. I want to hear what he has to say. Maybe I'll try doing it. See? And if that's what you're thinking, then awesome. And if that's not what you're thinking, then please don't leave because we look at our retention metrics and I think it's really important. So just like listen on or just like put your headphones down and keep it playing so that those retention numbers get pumped up. That would be awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. But for those who do want to listen in, I'm going to walk you through a quick step-by-step tutorial on how you can do this, on how you can bring on a door-to-door team yourself fairly easily. Because at the end of the day, I don't want you necessarily being the one going door to door for the rest of your time in business. Eventually, you're going to want to have a marketer or 2 or 3 doing it for you so that you can go do other things that you love doing, like more sales and more estimates. And so what are the steps to get started? Now, the first thing that you need to do is have a little bit of a script. Have a little script, have a little plan. And this is not about being salesy or about being pushy or anything about like that, but it's really just about showing face in the community and wanting to do more great work for awesome customers. So pick your neighborhood, and the best neighborhood to go to is the neighborhood that you've already gotten great jobs from. So it's much better to be a large fish in a small pond than to be a small pond. You don't want to be a small pond than to be a small fish in a large pond. So if you're in a big city, I really want you to pick a small area, maybe 20,000 homes or 10,000 homes, just kind of like a little radius of an area that's fairly close to you. It's going to be way better for your painters, way better for you, much shorter drive time. And the way to pick this is look at the previous projects that you've done and pick the best projects that you've done. Try to go to those areas. If you think of that one homeowner that you thought was amazing, let's go to that neighborhood. Let's try to pull more jobs out of that area, right? Then plan your approach. So your script is going to be super simple. Something like, hey, my name is Mike. I'm with Blueprint Painting. We're painting a couple of homes in your area. I'm the owner of the company. Just wanted to introduce myself and also see if you're thinking of having any painting done in the near future. And it doesn't have to be pressure. You don't have to try to go for like the 3 no's or 3 yeses or whatever. Just like ask, hey, are you thinking about having any painting done? Right? No, you can ask a follow-up question, but you don't have to. The follow-up question can be as simple as like, all right, yeah, just so you know, we do interiors and exterior, siding, fences, decks, whatever. Have you been thinking about anything like that? No? Okay, no worries. We'll have a great day. Very rarely do you have a negative experience. Like most of our clients, once they eventually get out of their own way and try to do this for the first time, they'll realize that the fear that they had around going door to door is like so overblown. I mean, some of the biggest companies in the world go door to door, like AT&T and Rogers up in Canada, and like all these alarm companies and Vivint. Like they go door to door for a reason, because it works, because they know that the economics for the company are incredibly in their favor. So you being the business owner, why don't you go through the effort of actually trying to figure this out, set it up so that you can too benefit from those positive economics. All right. All it's going to take is a little bit of outside of your comfort zone at the very start. So plan your approach, get your script. If you're the kind of guy or girl that like freezes up, then just write it down. Write what I previously said down on a piece of paper and have it in front of you when you go talk to them. So what should you be wearing? Do not overthink it. Wear bright clothes, a bright colored polo shirt or jacket. Don't wear a hat. Don't wear jeans. Don't wear baggy clothes. Don't wear black, right? Wear bright colors. Look presentable. Smile, for God's sake. Don't take it too seriously, and ideally go in pairs. And I always like going with a girl, might be like, or a female. Like it might be, not PC to say that, but I always found that if we had a female with us, that we'd more likely to get doors opened and have a positive experience. Same with the marketers that I would hire. Not all female, but would kind of lean towards hiring females because they would get better open rates. And then you go out, you get some success, you show the process of being able to get 1 to 2 estimates per hour, and then once you do that, then you can teach someone how to do it. But it's really hard to teach someone how to do it if you've never done it yourself. Now, once you are at the door and they say, you know what, actually, yes, I am interested in it. Can you give me a quote right now? Resist the urge to give them a quote there. You need to separate your marketing time from your sales time. And going door to door is a marketing activity. So if you have the 5.2 hours a week that we figured out earlier to go door to door, you do not want to disrupt half of that by doing one estimate. You want to use every minute of that to try to get as many estimates as you can and then batch your estimates at another time. So, hey, can I get a quote right now? Ooh, actually, no. We're just kind of in the middle of just doing some canvassing at the moment. And but what we can do is we can schedule you for tomorrow at 9 a.m. How does that sound? Right? We'll both, homeowners be there, blah, blah, blah. This allows you to not only preserve your marketing time, but also allows you to go through your full sales process. Hopefully you're doing a really good sales setup call and a really thorough estimate with all decision makers and expectations and trial close and presenting on the spot and walking away with deposit check and all that stuff. Doing a quote at the time of marketing does not give you ample time to do all of that pre-work. Okay. So how should you book it? Well, ideally you have a Google Calendar or Calendly or like the Drip Job scheduling feature or something, some sort of booking widget that you can do to click the time, send the customer email reminders, text message reminders, your website, things that look really professional and legit. And bonus points if you do this on an iPad or tablet at the door. Looks really, really great, creates that authority, and shows that you have process. Cool. And then you just keep going, rinse and repeat, go to the next door, and just continue to be better. Track how many opens you get. If you want, track your opens, track your good conversations, track your leads, track your estimates. Always try to book the estimate and not just lead, because the estimates ultimately where you're going for. And especially when you train a marketer, you're going to want the estimate too. Now, once you've gone 4 or 5 or 6 times and you have this process down and you know that you can get about more or less one estimate per hour, and you know it's going to average out. Some nights you might go and get completely skunked. Other times you might go out and you might get 5 estimates in 2 hours, right? So it just depends on a few things, but you definitely want to keep track of where the good neighborhoods are and where the bad neighborhoods are, right? So once you have that figured out, now you're going to be ready to hire someone. Now, hiring someone for this role, I mean, in today we're talking August 2024. There's a lot of people looking for jobs. So it's not a super difficult thing to find some qualified painters or qualified marketers. Basically, just put an ad. I mean, you can use ChatGPT to create an ad for a canvassing position for a door-to-door marketer for your painting company, and put that on Indeed, on Craigslist, on Kijiji if you're up in Canada, and just get some applicants. On Indeed, you can put $5 a day behind it and you will get a ton of applicants and start filtering through them. Now, what you're looking for in a good applicant is like first impression. So number one, do they make you really happy and do they make you smile and feel good the first time and every time that you talk to them? Because they are going to be like director of first impressions, right? That's their job, is a million first impressions. And then number two, are they hungry for money? Do they make you feel good? And are they financially motivated? Because if yes to both of those things, then they're going to make a good candidate. They don't need to be salesy. They don't need to be, have experience or whatever. They just need to be motivated and have a great attitude. Ideally, they also have a vehicle, transportation. They can get around by themselves and they can be deployed easily. So when you're okay, backing up a little bit, we're going to interviewing, compensation, tracking, payment. So for interviewing, just first do a phone interview, just qualify them on the phone, make sure they're legit, ask them a few questions about their background and history, anything that might be fishy, nothing too formal. Pay attention to how they make you feel and if they seem organized, and ask them how financially motivated they are. Let them know it's a door-to-door position and give them all of the expectations, how much they can make. And actually on that note, I'll jump really quickly to compensation because this can be a potentially really high paying role. It doesn't have to be a shit role, right? So if you want your marketing spend to be 5% cost of marketing, right, which is 10% gross profit of things like that, so about 5%. If you're booking $3,000 per job, then you can pay up to about $150 per estimate. So $150 per book job. So 150 per book job divided by 3 is about $50 per estimate. And that's a little bit low. Typically what we like to do is about $20 per hour plus $50 per estimate. Because in reality, your average job size is going to be bigger than 3,000. So if your average job size is 5,000, you're looking at 5% of that is 250 times 0.33 is $82 an estimate. So if you are at, and that's for 5%, right? So if you're paying $20 an hour plus $50 an estimate, and they're getting one per hour, that's $70, $70 per hour. Or you can say, hey, I'm going to give you $20 an hour, but I'll give you $50 every hour that you get an estimate. Sounds pretty awesome too. So they'll make $50 an hour. Huge money to be made for a marketer. So it's not just a crap job. It is actually well paying. You don't need to hire some high school kid or college kid. You can actually hire like a professional person, a professional salesperson who wants a side job. So that's why we comp on estimates and not on leads. Has to be an estimate, has to be attended. And once you attend it, then it becomes commissionable. Now you're like, hey, if I'm paying them $20 an hour, how do I make sure that they're legit? How do I make sure they're actually going out when they say they are? All you have to do is have them use Strava. Strava. Strava is a fitness tracking app. And what it does is it records your runs and records your routes. So you can see on Strava, they at the start of their shift, they hit record and then they do their route and then they hit end. And it's going to show you the entire, when they started, when they ended, how long it was, where they went, the map. It will show you everything and you'll be able to hold them accountable and they can't cheat you on hours. Cool. Then you'll also be able to use that to refer back on the maps to see where they actually did go and where they still need to go. So just use Strava. It's free. Do not get the paid version. Just get the free version and have them log their shifts as workouts. Cool. Now, from there, once you find someone, you get them comped, you do an interview, you do an in-person interview, 30 minutes, sit down, ask them about their career, their path, what they want, how much money they want to make. You need to make sure that you pair back their financial goal with how they can achieve that in this role. All right, so you want to make $1,000 a week working part-time for me in the evenings. Here's how you can do that and lay it out. Hours, estimates, leads, routes. You are in charge of your own destiny. You can make this much money. Here's how to do it. Can I help you? Let's get there. Then we do training shifts, so probably 3 or so training shifts. You want to be with them, going door to door with them until they're successful, until they are able to generate at least 1 estimate per hour. Their success is your responsibility. That's why you need to go out and be successful before them on your own so that you can teach them the proven path. And then you have that experience to be able to give them coaching and feedback and everything like that. You go out with them a few times, 2 to 4 times until they're successful. And then what you want to do is check in with them once they're going on their own. Check in with them every shift or every couple of shifts to make sure that they stay motivated, make sure they're excited, make sure they're on track for their financial goals. And then if they end up having a couple of bad shifts or falling out or falling off their goal or plan or track or whatever, you need to go back and you need to retrain them. You need to work with them and help do role play and figure out what is going wrong and why they're not able to get those results anymore. Their success is your responsibility. And just keep in mind that this is a fairly high turnover role. As good of a leader as you may be, as much as proactive as you may be about creating culture and drive and tying to their goals and helping them be successful and all this stuff, you will likely have turnover every couple of months, if not more. And that's fine. It's going to happen. As long as you go in expecting that that's going to happen, then instead of hiring 1, you can hire 2. And so hopefully you only lose 1 of them at a time so you can keep the other one going, because 5.2 estimates per week, and you're going to be making $250,000 per year of additional production or additional sales. So with that being said, I just crammed a ton of information into a 22-minute podcast. So what I want you to do is go to the bottom of this podcast, download the door-to-door mini course. And then once you do, let me know if you have any questions about it, or you can always book a call with my team to just chat about and kind of get like a free little coaching call on that. That link will also be there too. I think we have that link in the end of the door-to-door course. So with that being said, enjoy the course. It's crammed full of value. I hope this podcast was super valuable for you too. The biggest mistake that you could make is not doing it. All right. So just make sure you do it. Last thing, actually, we get those no soliciting areas, right? You get no soliciting sign here, no soliciting sign there. You get a neighborhood that doesn't allow it, blah, blah, blah. Slight shift on your messaging. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, this is Mike with Blueprint Painting. I'm the owner of Blueprint Painting. We're going to be doing some painting in your neighborhood, and I just want to make sure I don't park in your spot. Right? Where can I not park? All right. That's your spot. I'll make sure not to park there. Hey, by the way, are you thinking about getting any painting done? Cool. Simple as that. Small shift. And I'm more of a fan of like begging for forgiveness instead of asking for permission. So bend the rules a little bit, have some fun with it, go get some leads, go book some work, go get that $250,000, 5.2 hours a week. You can do it. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. If you want to grow your painting business, go to www.paintergrowth.com or click on the top link in the description. Talk soon.